Hi friends, this is Loli. Welcome to my channel. I am almost at 500 subscribers, so if you find value in this video, please don't forget to subscribe. And a big thank you to my subscribers for always being so encouraging. Thank you. For today's DIY, we will be using 2 of these pizza pans from the Dollar Tree. I take some of my Rust-Oleum linen white and their chalk paint, and I give them 2 nice coats. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to put them to the side and stain my wood pieces. This is some little Christmas trees from the Dollar Tree, and this beads also from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I do is measure the amount of beads that I will need to completely cover the end of my pizza pan there, and I cut off any excess that I might have. I'll make sure that both ends are nicely tight and tied in so the beads do not come apart. And then I take a little Ziploc baggie and add some of my steel color Waverly chalk paint into the mixture, but I make sure to water it down a little bit so it's more of a stain more than instead of a paint. Make sure that I mix it all together, and I'm also going to add some of my Waverly antique wax as well to the same mixture, because I wanted to have like this feeling of barnwood or weathered wood that's been outside. So I always notice it has like a tint of gray and brown, so I'm trying to achieve that effect there. And I just water it down so it's easier for the beads to absorb it, and I find it easier to be this way by doing it in the little Ziploc baggie. Here I'm adding a little bit more of the steel color chalk paint and a little bit more of the antique wax as well, because I want it to be enough mixture to cover up my beads and the little Christmas trees as well. So I added my beads first, make sure that my bag was sealed properly, and I'm shaking it to make sure to saturate all of the beads. And then I open it up and I take some of the air out. Apparently I needed a little bit more gray. I think it was getting a little bit too brown there. So I added a little bit more to make sure that everything was covered. I didn't want to have too much paint left over. I don't like wasting materials. So I added what I needed, watered it down. The antique wax was a little bit thick there, so it was a little bit harder to get it done. And once I got it to the color that I wanted, again, I went and shaked it, making sure to rub the beads, that all the color gets to every little angle and every nook and cranny of the beads. And then I opened it up, double check how it's looking, and I'm removing some of the air so I can actually rub the beads into the paint to make sure that the coverage is throughout the whole thing. Once I'm pretty satisfied with it, I took it out and laid it out to dry, and now I'm going to add 4 of my little Christmas trees here, because I want to have them match. I want them to be the same color. So I added my 4 little Christmas trees there and did the same process, just shaking and rubbing until they are completely covered with the mixture of paint, antique wax, and water. Just make sure I take them all out, and it's much easier when you don't use so much paint to just have them fall out like that, and you don't have this huge blob of paint or water. So then I use my heat gun to dry them. The little Christmas thingies were going all over the place, so I make sure everything was dry, and while that's on the side, I'm going to prepare the surface to add my beads to the pizza pan. So here I put the pizza pan towards the bottom, and actually this step was supposed to not be done until the end, but I was so excited to put feet on this apparently. But if you're doing this, I recommend doing this step last after you put all the other things together first. But for some reason I did it first, so anyway. And here what I did, I just put a little dab of E6000 and a dab of hot glue and attached it and put it to the side while I worked on the rest of the DIY here. So what I did, I put my pizza pan face down. I added E6000 on that little ridge in between the bottom of the pan and the little edge there. and I added my beads close to each other with the hole facing the pizza pan. I did that all along the entire pizza pan, and making sure not to leave any spaces. I wanted to make sure that the beads didn't, have weird spaces in between, because when I was done, what I did was add hot glue to the space in between the bottom of the pizza pan and the bead in the inside. And in order to do this the best, you will need to hold the beads in place as you're applying the glue to avoid them running away from your pan. And make sure you don't burn yourself with this step. And this is what it looked like when I was done. And now it is time to protect all my surface areas. So here, what I'm doing is adding some Mod Podge to my surface, because this is going to be holding different things on there. So you can tell probably by now this is a riser. So I want to make sure that the surface is protected, that I can put whatever I like in this riser. So I make sure to put a generous amount, and I did this with both the front, the back. I did it everywhere. I wanted this to be a piece that will last forever. So I make sure I protected all the surfaces. And now I am adding E6000 to the one where I put the feet and putting the other one right on top of it. And I'm using these clamps that I got during summertime. They're really bland clamps, but I think they were perfect for this DIY. So just to help this sit and dry overnight, because I put only E6000, I did not put any hot glue. I wanted this to last for a while. So I did that, and once I was done, this is what my little riser looked like. I really, really, really love the contrast of the two colors, the white and the antique or like barnwood-like beads. And I put it on this little lantern that I made in a previous DIY on it, and it looks gorgeous. I am so satisfied with this, guys. It's awesome. I hope you enjoyed this DIY, and I hope it was helpful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Lori Lee Creations.